We got so many massive cultural news stories breaking. It's all over the place today, man. It's so bad. It is so bad. Our culture is actually broken. I don't know how we come back from it. Well, I guess we got to start building culture back again. But who's going to do that? I guess that's up to all of us. And we cannot let these freaks enter our space. Anybody who's trying to inshitify things, trying to make things worse for everybody, anybody who's trying to make a quick buck, a lot of quick bucks, like in our first story, Charlie might be getting sued. Actually, he pretty much is going to be sued. And this is insane and disgusting. I already watched this video, but like, we're going to watch it again together. I'm going to give it a like.
Title's not clickbait. For the first time ever, I have been served some hefty legal paperwork. And it's not, there wasn't anything ceremonious about it. It's not like any of the, you know, crazy stories you might have heard about people being served where like someone will...
Yeah, it's not like a Pineapple Express situation.
You go incognito like a secret agent, like with the disguise where they have some kind of silicone mask of your mother's face on it, so you open the door and then bang, you get the paperwork served to you or anything. It was nothing like that. Just a normal, unassuming, albeit very large envelope in the mail. Now, it's not a full-blown lawsuit or anything at the moment. It is some demands because there are two...
Yeah, we'll get into those demands because the demands don't make any fucking sense. Like he's gonna get sued because he cannot meet these demands that they're demanding.
YouTubers that believe I have stepped on their tootsies and infringed on their copyright. They are Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold.
Who? Never heard of them.
Now, I initially reached out to both of them because the language in this paperwork is very fishy.
Yeah, this is a huge mistake on their parts. Like, why would you do this? One of the biggest communities on YouTube and like on the internet.
I'll get into that more in a moment, but I wanted to talk directly with them to see if this is like a scam or something. Like
it's not even like Charlie's community. It's all of the communities that are tied to Charlie. Everybody loves Charlie, except for a bunch of freaks. We're going to get into that in the next video. We're going to react in this video. Because we're not done with Charlie after this I might be sued video. It gets much worse. I think we're about to see this man's villain arc.
I wanted to make sure this was like a legitimate thing before I got my lawyers on this. They haven't responded, so I'm guessing this is probably legitimate. Like, this is probably something they are actually trying to go through with. Though, I do know that there are a lot of law firms now that are trying to encroach in the space to convince YouTubers to go through copyright law to try and make money. That
is 1,000,000,000%. I guess that'd be 1,000,000,000% what's happening here. Because this is fucking retarded.
Is something that a bunch of firms have reached out to Matt about to do on my behalf, which is unhinged why any firm would think I would ever do something like that, but it is somewhat normal in the space right now. So
yeah, YouTubers suing each other for copyright infringement, that needs to go away. I think the only instance that it's okay is the H3 situation.
I think there is a chance that maybe that's what's happening here and they don't know that, but since they didn't respond, I can't say for sure. So as of now, it feels legitimate, so I will be getting my lawyers on this, obviously, to be going through the next steps of this now most likely very long procedure. But let's go ahead and talk about what the claim is. So last year, during Hurricane Milton, I did a stream. In the middle of Hurricane Milton. I'm in Tampa, and Hurricane Milton came through to spread our cheeks. I was streaming during it. While streaming, I would check like weather updates or like some streams to see the progress of Milton and what's going on in the area. Now, I think all of you know this, I don't do React content anymore, so if there's ever any like content or footage on my stream, it's very brief, and the only things I usually watch are game trailers, movie trailers, or news footage, like news.
Yeah, I only react to content that I know the people I'm reacting to are not going to try and sue me or try and take down my video for a copyright claim.
News broadcast, publicly available news. So for the hurricane, I thought it would be a-okay to show very brief clips of what was happening with Milton so I can stay up to date, as well as, I guess, share with the audience who was asking, like, what's going on? Are you safe? What's happening? And one of the streams I pulled up was a Ryan Hall Y'all's stream where he was showing a bunch of footage of Hurricane Milton, and one of the footage snippets, like one of the contributors, was Brad Arnold. You can see his footage there as one of the, on the scene, boots on the ground, reporters there. And I had that section there, that footage that included Brad Arnold's work there, on my stream for less than 30 seconds, unless I missed another instance of it somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder what Ryan Hall's got to say about this situation. Like, I think he's probably going to have to say something.
Where it was present for less than 30 seconds. Though I did pause at one point, so if you count the pausing with the image of the footage there, it's a little longer, but I can't imagine a still image counts. If it does, then no bussy is safe, because that would just be fully Pandora's box wide open here. Even
this ain't gonna work. This lawsuit's not gonna work. These guys are fucking retarded, man.
This video would be in jeopardy then, because I did just show you a screenshot of that stream that had a still image from Brad Arnold's on the scene work. But it's just a picture, it's not moving or anything, and it's like, I have it here for 5 seconds. I guess we'll see. I think that would be really scary if that is now completely prohibitive and a potential copyright infringement. That would be very, very scary. Anyway, though, that's the extent of Brad Arnold's footage that...
And also, even if this lawsuit is a losing lawsuit, everybody's going to be mad at these people.
Entered into the Thunderdome of my 1.5 hour long Hurricane Milton stream. So it was less than 30 seconds. I don't think that's an extensive period of time there, but I'll go ahead and let bygones be bygones on that and move on to Reed Timmer. Reed Timmer.
Yeah, this one's the worst one, because that one, I mean, I can kind of understand if it's like a news organization, but like, this one's bullshit. This one's absolute bullshit.
And Brad Arnold are both being represented by this firm, so it's a tag team here, a dynamic duo.
Yep, I think this is straight up just lawfare to make money. It's funny how the same law firm is going after Charlie on 2 different instances.
And to double fist my butthole. Reed Timmer was on my stream for, I wrote these down because it was a couple times. 28 seconds the first time, where I showed some of Reed Timmer's, once again, on the scene footage.
Imagine being such a garbage person that you're gonna sue one of the friendliest guys on the internet over nothing.
It was 28 seconds to see what was going on. And then once I showed that, Reed Timmer's fans came in my chat telling me that I should really check out his tank. He built like this really cool tank, and they really wanted me to see Reed Timmer's tank. So I went to his video that showed his tank, and I had that on screen in total for 1 minute and 10 seconds. I then skipped towards like more...
Oh, 1 minute, 10 seconds! That's way too long, Charlie. It's way too long.
The middle of the video,
you're stealing his content.
The rockets, because everyone wanted me to see like the rockets he has on the tank. So I went there, and that was on screen for 25 seconds total. And then I just paused it, and I just had it as a still image there, so it was there for a bit longer as a still image, not the video playing or anything like that. So in total, less than 2 minutes was Reed Timmer's footage across 2 pieces of his content, one being a live stream and then the other being the tank that his fans really came in and wanted me to see. Maybe that was an elaborate ruse, a big bait from the Reed Timmer community to get me in hot water with him. And if this was a Galaxy Brain chess maneuver, impressive work. I hadn't seen that line before. The Scotch Open got me good there. Like it worked. The bait was successful, because now Reed Timmer is here in the squared circle with a copyright.
I guarantee you he's going to start bringing up the fact that he's being attacked by Charlie's fans.
And now
Charlie sent his fans after this guy to attack him. It's obvious from this video.
Let's talk about the actual paperwork here. As I said, the language feels very fishy to me. And the lawyer that I had glance over it to take a peek also found it to be really, really weird. One of the first things that jumped out was they claim that I've used it in multiple instances, in multiple locations.
Oh, yeah?
They say that I unlicensed distributed their work in the following locations, and then it gives 2 links to a YouTube video. I said a YouTube video because they only have 1 YouTube video there. They list it twice. They do the same link twice, but then imply that I'd done it multiple times in multiple locations. So that's already weird. It's the Hurricane Milton stream. I am not familiar with Brad Arnold's work, nor Reed Timmer's. That was the only time I'd ever even heard of their names, was during the Hurricane Milton stream I did from, well, Reed Timmer's community, and then also just from trying to stay knowledgeable on what the fuck is happening with the natural disaster that's hitting my home. Like, that's the only time I was ever even heard of their names before. And what I put on stream of theirs,
Well, you're not gonna do that no more now, are you?
was there for such a
That
small amount
sucks, man. Like, it really sucks that we can't just react to news footage. Why? Because you end up giving the news footage more views? I don't understand.
time. I thought there'd be no issue there at all. The paperwork goes on to, I don't know.
And also, it's not just news footage. It was like what he was talking about with the tank and the rockets and whatnot. Like, what?
I'm allowed to say the exact amount, but it goes on to say that they are potentially entitled to many tens of thousands of dollars per infraction. It makes a mention of damages that could get up to 6 figures, about me potentially posting their content on all of my other socials and my other websites, which is obviously not anything that happened. It was only during that stream for like sub 2 minutes. At least from what I can tell on the stream. Maybe I missed a couple instances, but it's not a long period of time at all. But it's saying, or rather implying, that I may have been blasting it all over the place, thus they would be entitled to more money. And then it says things like, in order to comply, I would need to explain where and how I obtained their client's work to copy it. As if I had some kind of Ocean's 11 style heist.
I clicked the link on YouTube, there was a thumbnail, and I clicked it. I think YouTube needs to have a policy where, like, if it's on YouTube, you're allowed to react to it. Even though technically, legally you are, I think YouTube needs to have a policy.
Where I broke into Fort Knox to steal their copyrighted footage for myself, like I took a fucking Dragon Ball or something. Which is really weird, because what do you mean, how did I find this? Those were 2 absolutely massive streams during Hurricane Milton that were there to try and keep people informed on what was happening with Hurricane Milton. They had like fucking 100,000 viewers, and like they were huge streams. So I saw those streams, and I tuned in to see what was happening with Hurricane Milton for my own safety and to stay up to date on the progress of the hurricane. And the second part of that is absolutely mind-boggling about like where and how I found it and copied it. I didn't fucking copy it. I looked at it. I had my peepers on it very briefly. I didn't steal their work. I fucking download it to a floppy disk. Don't copy that floppy type shit. Like I didn't copy anything. I looked at their stream for a very, very, very brief period of time during a hurricane that was hitting my house, just to see what was going on and stay knowledgeable. Also, to show chat, stream what was going on in the area. I'm not exactly equipped to show it myself by just taking this camera and going outside during it. I'd get blown away. I'm fucking 5'6". That shit would ragdoll me. I don't have all the gadgetry and doodads to show it. So I looked for a very small handful of seconds at the on-the-scene storm chasers and reporters just to stay up to date. I didn't copy their work, and I wasn't trying to steal their work and pretend like it was mine.
Yeah, that's exactly why this is not going to go through, and they're going to catch so much hate from this.
Or make money off of their work. It is an hour-and-a-half stream during Hurricane Milton, and their footage is present for less than 2 minutes at the end of the stream, by the way. Like, Reed Timmer's section there is literally right before I went offline, before my power got knocked out briefly. Or I can't even remember if my power got knocked out in that stream. It happened a couple times. I'm pretty sure it got knocked out in that one. I don't even remember now. But, like, it's at the end of the stream. I feel like it is very odd if this is something Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold are legitimately pursuing. Or maybe this is all a huge misunderstanding, and they don't even know that I got served these papers. I'm hoping that's the case. I have no...
I don't know. It better be like that. I'm not going to do anything. Let me be clear. But for the sake of them on the internet, I hope that this was all a misunderstanding, because Charlie's fans and people who are like acquaintanced fans who are just like, you know, barely paying attention, they're going to be very upset about this.
No ill will towards Brad Arnold or Reed Timmer, one way or the other, I suppose. If they really feel like I have done something wrong with that, then they are fully within their right to serve me these precious little papers here that I'm patting real nicely. That it is what it is. I wanted to keep you all in the loop here because this, I'm not gonna lie, was extremely annoying. If you follow Moist Critical Gaming, you probably will have seen the league video I posted the other day where I was fuming. Well, it's because I got served those papers and I was talking to lawyers about it. So it was an extremely frustrating day. Anyway, wanted to just keep you all in the loop here on what's going on. That's really about it. See ya.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely insane. This should not be allowed to happen in the community of YouTube and the internet in general. This is absolute bullshit. I think IP law in general should be either reworked or get the fuck rid of it, because holy shit, dude. People are just using it to make money. And that's not what it's supposed to be. And it's what it has been this whole time, is just people using it to make money. Absolutely disgusting. And what's even more disgusting is Hasan Piker's fans trying to cancel my boy Charlie.
As terrible as the whole Hasan dog situation has been, Hasan's fan base getting mad at Charlie for covering this is at least something amusing to come from this whole thing, as that's exactly what we have going on right now. For example, on Penguin Zero subreddit, Charlie, please speak to Ludwig. He'll vouch for Hasan. Make a new video apologizing for spreading misinfo and end this drama before it harms his reputation. And
you know, you don't want to be catering to the Hasan fans, let me tell you, because they're all fucking terrorists.
Shortly after that post was made, a bunch of defenders from Hasan subreddit actually came to Charlie subreddit trying to brigade it with damage control. We'll go over all that in more detail a bit later. For now, let's hop over to Hasan Piker subreddit. This is one of the top posts on there for today, with over 700 upvotes, titled "Pretty Disappointing Video from Charlie." AOP writing really felt like someone with no
cry more
understanding of Hasan or the situation, giving baseless accusations. And what are these so-called baseless accusations? Well, after Hasan...
I don't think Charlie made any accusations. I think he said, this is what it looks like. Hopefully it's not this.
Seemingly shocked his dog Kaya, Charlie said...
There's the keyword, seemingly, but they don't hear the seemingly. They only hear the part where shot caller, dog. And the fact that he's against Hasan on this. That's the only thing that they see and hear.
This.
Now, for the life of me, I cannot understand what he's even upset about in the first place, that he starts, scolding the dog for. She moved, an inch.
Why are you so upset, Charlie? It's just a dog.
Slightly off of that. It's like in a video game, like in Metal Gear Solid, when someone gets, a question mark over their head, they're, zipping to you immediately. She doesn't do anything, really, other than move slightly, and he is noticeably upset.
And by the way, yeah, I'm assuming everyone watching this video is already familiar with the whole Hasan incident from yesterday, as well as all the contextual stuff that he had done in the past.
Oh, bro, it's getting so bad. And dude, we're seeing so much lies from people that are on Hasan's side on this, and it's fucking retarded, man.
Also looks really bad for how he treats Kaya and his other dog, Fish, rest in peace. I'm referring to the resurfaced clip that allegedly depicts Hasan pulling Fish's tail. And now back to Hasan's subreddit. One of Hasan's top 1% posters over here says, in response to Charlie covering the situation, "Disappointing is an understatement. Bro just single-handedly assured this will go on for days, if not weeks longer. And all the normies will be saying Hasan abuses Kaya as well. The problem with taking..."
It doesn't even matter. It does not even matter, because Hasan is such a fucking liar all the time and manipulating shit that, why wouldn't he be doing it now? Why is this time any different? And even if it is different, even if Hasan is in the right, in this particular instance, does not fucking matter. Nobody actually cares except for Hasan's community. All of us that are angry about it, it's just cry more, bitch.
In a middle-of-the-road sort of neutral take when something is just wrong, is that it will embolden all the people lying into thinking they're not crazy. They honestly believe that Hasan has any need to use a shock collar on Kaya, when for years we have seen her grow up.
I believe that Hasan has any need to use a shock collar on Kaya. He also doesn't have any need to support terrorism, other than making money, I guess.
And learn to follow commands with no big red button or remote in sight. It's pretty crazy how this person refers to something that's just wrong, and they're not referring to what seems to be the abuse of Kaya. No, what's wrong is criticizing Hasan for this. And as so many people have pointed out, the problem is not even just the whole alleged shock collar thing. It's how he forces Kaya to sit for hours and hours and hours in the back of his stream, and then if she so much as dares move to stretch or whatever, he seems to get mad at her. Hasan's defenders continue to rage about Charlie covering this. Other top comments reading, "Actually never thought I'd on sub from Charlie, but rip Bozo, see ya never."
Yep, rip Bozo was right. See ya. We didn't even know you were there.
I can't believe this is the thing that Charlie is breaking his internet drama fast on. Don't really care. He lost me with how lazy that opinion was. Oh yeah, guys, because, you know, doing terrible things to animals, that's just internet drama. And having an opinion that criticizes...
How many fans does Hasan have? And if they all, every single one of them, unsub at the same time, I don't even think Charlie would notice.
...is disgusting actions like that. Well, that's just a lazy opinion. Bro, how are these people real? Speaking of that, it looks like now we've got Hasan's latest excuse. He's blaming the whole dog situation on Israel.
Yep.
Had posted a story here that said,
Israel is really trying hard to get me canceled with this whole dog shock collar situation.
She has no idea she's been the most famous dog on the internet for the past 2 days.
Israel is behind the fact that I'm upset about him using a shock collar. Yep, Israel is controlling me, guys. Israel is controlling all of you. They're the one who started this whole conversation. Nope.
Because of a coordinated far-right / pro-Israel slander campaign. You gotta love the far-right.
Fucking far-right every single time with this dude, man. And like, I'm seeing regular people that I've never seen before talk about Hasan Piker making fun of the dude.
Excuse too. I mean, this is so common from people like this. Oh, something I dislike, something that's criticizing me, it must be far-right extremism. You know, it's funny that 11 hours ago, Hasan posted a video trying to make excuses for this whole thing by saying you were lied to. I don't think bro's talking about himself being the liar, but he should be. Now, here's something crazy. In that video, Hasan goes on to, in part, address the time-lapse video showing Kaya just being forced to sit there for hours on end. And a chatter says that, like, if you can just even go back one VOD.
Wah! Wah! That's all I'm hearing from these people. They're all just crying. Nobody actually cared. Like, who are you trying to defend here? Who are you trying to offend? Because the people who think this is a fucking problem, they don't care. We've already made up our minds on this. And it's like, you're not going to change our opinion on it. Most of us already think that this whole situation doesn't matter. But Hasan brought this energy upon himself.
Before the last stream, you'll see that she's roaming free for plenty of the stream. And so I went to take a look, and I instantly found the opposite of that. What I actually found was Hasan once again getting upset at Kaya for having the audacity to stand up.
You only go one VOD back and Kaya roams the entire VOD amount. I know, but it doesn't matter, right? Because if you...
He's right about that. It doesn't matter.
If you are in here for an extended period of time, you already know this.
So yeah, like...
If you're in there for an extended period of time, bro, you probably need to be checked into a mental hospital.
I said, I went to check that out for myself, and here's what I found.
On your Twitch when the race was on, don't know what you saw. I couldn't really check because it was too chaotic, but basically it was great. Like, it was a lot better.
That dog is looking like it wants something, and it keeps looking at Hasan, like looking for confirmation to get up.
It was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I thought we were gonna have like 100 people watching because it's like the exact opposite time. Kaya down. It was the exact opposite time that I normally stream at.
But of course...
What? He did the thing that we were all giving him shit for. So what is he talking about? He's just fucking lying. He's like, these people are like, oh, look at the VOD before. They didn't even look at it. They're just saying that because they're lying.
Of course, the rage towards Charlie from Hasan's community would continue. For example, another top comment reading, "So depressing. So many moments where she is walking around and Charlie acts like this doesn't happen because no one was saying so. Definitely doesn't happen. Like, bro, just watch any of his streams, please." Well,
Yeah, watch his 8 to 10 hour streams every day so you can catch the instance where the dog is walking around a little bit.
like I just did, I hopped one of his other streams and instantly saw Hasan getting mad at Kaya for standing up. Continuing with
and looking at him for confirmation, and then he wasn't saying anything, so the dog was like, "Oh, okay," and then he said, "Lay down," and the dog lays down like the dog has been doing, and that's the fucking problem.
this comment though. In my opinion, the reason why he is mad at her moving is probably because there's something happening in his house, and Kaya is constantly wanting to see and mess
Probably something happening in his house. You don't know that, you're just fucking making up bullshit.
around. I say this because, okay, now hold on a second. This is like instantly a contradiction. She's always free to move around in the streams. You can see it whenever, and then instantly goes on to like talk about why he gets mad at her for moving around. Like what?
Because the dog's a prop. So people will sit in the stream and stare at the dog because dogs are fun to look at. Dogs are cute. That's why he makes the dog lay back there on screen.
These people even doing? They're not even making sense anymore. This is just pathetic.
They never made sense.
Continuing though, they say, I say this,
And we knew this is what was going to be the conversation around this whole situation. We knew it. Because it's the same thing every time, over and over again. And I think they're getting baited. I think all these people are getting baited. Hasan's getting baited. Even Fox News brought this up, by the way. That's fucking insane.
because I saw this behavior before where she wanted to go outside. There was something happening and he was constantly saying, no, stay there, don't go. Because this whole argument doesn't make any sense when literally 2 days before the polemic stream, she was walking around normally around him and he wasn't even reacting to her. Not only on this random day, but almost every stream. I guess bro got really scared by the numbers this did. The frustration obviously is because the insane stalkers now will pretend to care just to dunk on this opportunity. I have no idea what that's even referring to. This person sounds crazy. The fact that Charlie only go to his friends and what is online instead of, I don't know, asking Hasan directly is so freaking frustrating. Yeah, Hasan is this master manipulator that hides.
Why would you ask somebody directly who just lies and manipulates constantly and supports terrorism? Like, you get no sympathy from me, bro.
It's his shot collar when friends go to his house and put it back when they leave. Come on, man. I guess we're back to buy a house, bad Hasan. I'm so done. And a response saying, socialism means you can't have dog. Are these people just like experts in misrepresenting arguments? Because this is just one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. We can see that same user who just made that wall of text excuse in this comment exchange, where it begins with this other user saying, disappointing. What exactly do you expect from this moron? Referring to Charlie as the moron, of course. Guess I'm still, here's the OP, guess I'm still coping from when they played basketball together. And then that wall of text person goes on to say he could literally ask Hasan directly and explain in the video. Numbers really scary, this man, and that's crazy. What's crazy?
I'm, you know, I don't even know what to say about this.
Is this commenter? I mean, multiple times now, this person just sounds extraordinarily unhinged. Like they're just making an excuse for something.
Well, they are, you know, a constant Hasan viewer, so they belong in a fucking mental hospital.
Who seems to be treating animals very poorly, and that's even me putting it nicely. Much worse things could be said about this all. And there's so many comments like this, too. This is 100% Charlie giving chum to the Sharks after speaking out against the IDF. It's really telling how Hasan and his defenders just can't conceive that people dislike seeing animals suffering, and they have to try and somehow link this all to politics, Palestine, Israel, socialism, the far right, etc., etc. They really do just sound like mindless drones that follow what Hasan says without any thought of their own. And I'm of course referring to the recent story that we went over a moment ago where Hasan himself is blaming all of this backlash on Israel.
And like, how about the fact that he's going on this campaign to battle the hate, where he's posting a bunch of cute pictures with himself, cute videos with himself with a dog. And he's like, look, does this look like an abused animal? Abused animals are loving still. They don't know any better. They don't know they're not supposed to love this person. That's not even a fucking argument, man. It's ah.
Israel and the far right. Speaking of that post on Charlie's subreddit, well, moments ago, the post was actually locked by one of Charlie's mods who says,
How about
super
that?
sorry, but I'm locking the comments. We're being brigaded right now. I had to lock the other Hasan post for the same reason. And it does look like Hasan's defenders are actually brigading Charlie's subreddit in a desperate attempt at damage control. For example, one of Hasan's defenders here got downvoted by the usuals over on Charlie's subreddit, but you can see they attempted the damage control of saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Israel were jumping on this opportunity to try and deplatform one of their largest critics.
Yeah, I'd be banning all of the Hasan Piker fans in the chat, no matter what, in general. And also anybody who brings up Israel, just like ban them all.
But I don't think it's manufactured by Israel. They just jumping on a golden opportunity for them. ETA, it would be extremely disappointing if we talked about a streamer's freaking dog instead of what's happening in Palestine for a week, though. Not saying that shocking your dog isn't bad, but genocide is worse.
Yeah, the genocide that is ending? Okay. Actually, they're mad about that, too. Because Trump didn't do it in the correct way, or there's some kind of reason he's doing it in the background. A land grab! Give me a fucking break. I was seeing all kinds of people that were like actual Palestinians who were happy about this whole Trump thing. It's crazy.
Another brigader saying, this whole thing is manufactured. They took a meaningless clip and turned it into rage bait. And then also saying that the whole thing is just made up, to which people, of course, call them out for their immense cope. The OP also mentioning the video that's been resurfaced of Hasan allegedly pulling his old dog Fish by the tail. This is a clip that his defenders don't seem to be addressing at all. They're really trying to just not talk about that one. For anyone not familiar with the tail pulling clip...
What about the fact that he said owning a dog is modern slavery? How about that one?
It's been resurfaced. Like I said yesterday in my coverage, I'm not going to play this. It is too disturbing to play. But here's where you can find it. It's on YouTube. You can search it right there. Another reason that Hasan's defenders are so upset with Charlie is that he directly called out their ridiculous excuse from the other day where they attempted to say that, oh, Kaya just scraped her dew claw. That's what happened, which, as I went over in my coverage yesterday, in my opinion, made absolutely no sense given the positioning and all the context around what happened here. To which Charlie also pointed out that exact excuse was also, in his opinion, absurd. Specifically saying that he watched the clip 15 times and that every person and person online outside of Hasan and his community are saying the same thing. That we all don't think the whole dew claw thing is what made Kaya yelp. That her dew claw doesn't seem to actually get caught or snagged on anything. It's a ridiculous excuse.
It is a sensitive area. That is true. If you've ever cut your dog's nails, or if you've ever taken your dog to like a dog salon or something and they like gave your dog a nail trim, you probably noticed that when it comes to the dew claw, they're very, defensive on it, like cautious, because it is such a tender spot. I have watched this clip like fucking 10 or 15 times now. And today I had some friends come in from out of town, so obviously I've been out most of the day at the farm, and this was actually a conversational topic. It's become so big that it was brought up by them. And every single person, and pretty much everyone I've seen online outside of Hasan and Hasan's community, is all saying the same thing. That yes, it looks like the dog does like touch its leg to that spot on the bed.
It's lies, copes, manipulation, and the Hasan's fans talking about all this shit and lying all the time, and coping and seething and crying, making it everything worse for Hasan. And it's just it's making us laugh at them more. And they think it's a hate campaign. And it's just like, I'm laughing at this situation. Sucks for the dog, but like, the whole conversation around it is fucking retarded. Like, Hasan's fans are actually upset that people are talking about this. And I think it's hilarious.
But it doesn't look like it gets caught or anything. So it feels very unlikely that that is what caused the dog to scream in pain. Like, I don't think that's what made Kaya, that's her name, yelp. It doesn't seem to get caught or snagged on anything. And dew claws aren't so sensitive and so tender that even touching them would cause like a panicked scream or anything. Unless she has an injury there, but I don't think Hasan has mentioned that, at least not that I've seen.
Yeah, and still hasn't mentioned that, so that one's just not a thing.
So it feels to me very unlikely that that's what.
And I love how the conversation has really gone from, oh, it was a new claw, to, oh, it was a vibration collar, and it, I don't know, it scared her, I guess. I don't know what the fuck they're even saying, trying to defend it now is.
Caused it, based on everything that we can see.
Of course, Hasan's defenders don't like anyone actually analyzing the situation and not believing the excuses that they've been trying to put out.
And a big one is, this is the dumbest conspiracy theory that I've ever heard. What about the fact that Israel is behind literally fucking everything?
As Charlie's video also got responses from Hasan's community, such as just parroting
What about the conspiracy theory that Tectone is a rapist?
fake BS, screw Charlie, and I unsubscribed. It's just so gross that he put up that video. He can shove the fence sitting up his... And that comment ends there. Of course, this was ultimately a small sample of the numerous angry people defending Hasan and getting mad at Charlie for covering this in a way that wasn't just believing all the lies that these people have been trying to put out, their damage control, so to speak. But I'm sure you get the point, so I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed my coverage. Again, this...
Yeah, I do enjoy your coverage, Mr. Hirohei. Now let's move on to some Charlie Kirk news, shall we, from Amala Ekpunobi. He killed them for Charlie Kirk. This is an absolute fucking stupid situation that, like, yeah, I don't know if it's even true. Apparently it's not. Leftist lies go viral. But, like, this is one instance, even if it were true, of right-wing violence, and it's not really right-wing violence, more like a violent teenager who's been cooked by the internet. If that's even what happened, I don't know. Because there's so many people on the left who are just fucking liars. Especially the people I've been posting this kind of stuff, like the Krasensteins. And, like, Secular Talk. I forget that guy's name. I used to subscribe to him because I used to follow him just to see what the left was trying to say, you know, and I thought he was the coolest guy out of the left who would actually, you know, tell me how it is. And it used to be, but I don't know, somewhere along the lines, money got in between that.
There's a story circulating online about a 17-year-old boy who took the lives of two 17-year-old girls. Now, many are saying he was a Charlie Kirk fan who killed them because they made fun of Charlie Kirk's death. At least that's the popular narrative. Many leftists are also saying that this is the political violence that Republicans and Trump voters don't want to talk about. So today we're going to find out.
Yeah, this is the political violence they don't want to talk about. The one time that it happened. Out of all of the, like, we can't even keep up with all of the leftist violence right now in the streets and online.
Find out if this story is actually true, and of course, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, you better.
All right, lives. We're going to get straight into today's topic. We're going to be talking about 17-year-old Vincent Bataloro, who took the lives of Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas. Now, these are two 17-year-old girls, and Vincent is a 17-year-old.
Yeah, you want to know why nobody's talking about this on the right? Because the left keeps lying. And the left is the one who posted about it. And they always lie, so, like, nobody fucking cares.
Boy himself,
And
he
that
seems
sucks
to have
for the
quite a
girls that
history
died,
with
I
at
guess.
least one of these individuals, Maria Niotis. Now, as I said before, the popular narrative online is that he was a Charlie Kirk fan who took the lives of these two 17-year-old girls because they made fun of Charlie Kirk's death. I'm going to show you some tweets and some references here. Pamphlets on X says, breaking, Charlie Kirk fans stalked and brutally murdered two girls for, quote, talking shit, end quote, about Charlie Kirk. Occupy Democrats posts, breaking, Charlie Kirk fan murders two teen girls in horrific attack after one of them criticized Charlie Kirk. Well,
Not to mention all of the personalities online who keep talking about this, trying to bring it up, trying to say, like, why isn't MAGA talking about this situation? Why aren't the Charlie Kirk fans talking about this?
Trump and the right-wing propaganda machine have been demonizing Democrats and falsely smearing them for committing violence. Once again, it is a right-winger who is taking innocent people's lives over their political beliefs. Maria Niotis and Isabel Salas both said...
Yeah, and they're probably just reposting this because they heard somebody else said it, and it just keeps going on chains like that. And it's like a game of telephone where every person that posts it lies about one little thing, and then another person posts it, lies about another thing. And then you get just complete bullshit.
17-year-olds were struck and killed in a hit-and-run vehicular homicide by another teen identified by local media as Vincent Bataloro. Now I'm going to read you some of the quote tweets that really made me want to delve into this story, because people were calling out Republicans and Trump voters saying that nobody wants to talk about this. Denisha Carter writes, "No Republicans talking about this. I wonder why."
I wonder
Allison
why.
Wilkes writes, "This
Is it because only the left is trying to bring this up and it's complete bullshit? I wonder why. I wonder why nobody's talking about it. Because the people on the leftist freaks are liars.
This is the political violence they don't want to talk about." First and foremost, before we even get into this story, I condemn all forms of political violence. If one is motivated by left-leaning ideology or...
I denounce all forms of violence in general, unless it's like actually literally in a video game. Not just saying that for the algorithm to, or the AI to be like, oh, I'm actually talking about it in a video game. I'm not talking about it for real. No. In Minecraft. No, that's bullshit. Get that out of here.
right-leaning ideology, it makes no difference to me. Of course, we always do want to look into the motives behind these attacks, so we gather more information, we see what both the victims and the suspects have been involved in, and if we find any information that...
Dude, I tried. I really did with all these flies in here, man. I killed so many. And I don't know, I feel like I didn't do anything. They're everywhere.
leads us to believe that this person killed these two girls because of Charlie Kirk's death.
It is because I'm outside, kinda. All right, let's get back into Amala.
Information that leads us to believe that this person killed these two girls because of Charlie Kirk's death and because of their response to it. We'll most certainly display that in this video. It's not okay when the left does it, and it's not okay when the right does it. And if you're on a side politically and you feel like you can't call out that side when acts of political violence are carried out in the name of that particular ideology, then you have a problem and you probably need to do some internal work, some introspection. But as we get into the story, I'm going to turn to Inside Edition and we'll hear...
Yeah, I get a lot of people on the left who's like, I'm on the left and I'm not violent. Well, we're not talking about you. So why bring it up? If you're really trying hard to defend yourself like that, then we are talking about you, you leftist violent freak.
The news regarding this double homicide.
70 miles per hour. That's how fast cops say a 17-year-old was driving when he mowed down two teen girls riding on an e-bike. Now video has surfaced of the suspect shortly after the crash, laughing on a gaming site.
It's the creepy laugh of an accused killer. We're learning new information about 17-year-old Vincent Bataloro, accused of intentionally slamming his Jeep into two best friends as they rode an e-bike. According to just released court papers, police say he was driving 70 miles an hour when he plowed into 17-year-olds Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas. We found this video of Bataloro on a gaming site talking about pranking Maria by sending a pizza to her house. She reportedly had spurned his advances and had filed for a restraining order against him.
Hi, can I place an order for delivery, please? Can I get 2 large pepperoni pizzas?
How long did this go on and nobody did anything about it? A restraining order was filed and they didn't fucking arrest this kid? What the fuck are we doing here?
It'll be cash at the door.
He then lets out that demonic laugh.
How was this kid not arrested before this whole fucking bullshit happened?
He tells viewers it's all because allegedly Maria had made fun of Charlie Kirk.
Whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his death. Stupid clown.
A fellow gamer asks if he'll drive to Maria's house to watch the pizza be delivered.
Oh, I did that the last time, but the mother saw me pull up in the car, and I got tracked, and the police, did what they did.
And he's just allowed to roam free. I think the problem is we need to figure out who the fuck these cops are who are not arresting people constantly all over the country. I think this is a huge problem. And it's been a problem when we bring it up every single time. These kids, these people, they're always tracked. We know about them. And they don't get arrested, and then they crash out and kill people. What the fuck are we doing?
Bataloro made the video 9 days ago. On Monday, when the two girls were killed, police say Badaloro fled the scene before they found and detained him and issued him an astonishing 15 tickets. But he was not arrested because he claimed it was an accident. The next day, Badaloro went online to express his condolences.
In a neighboring town, unfortunately, two girls were killed in a hit and run crash. I wish my sincerest condolences.
On Wednesday, after police discovered his connections to Maria Niotis, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Last night, Maria's mother spoke out.
She wasn't just my daughter. She was my best friend, my sunshine.
So there you have it. And if you're hearing this story and you're thinking there's more layers here than just somebody being a Charlie Kirk fan and killing, two girls because one of them made fun of Charlie Kirk. If you're thinking that doesn't seem to be the full story, we're seeing now that is in fact not the full story. In fact,
Of course it's not.
The only reference I could see to Charlie Kirk.
It never is. And I think the full story should have been, as soon as this kid was caught doing stuff like this, he should have been fucking arrested or at least tracked, watched, whatever. Put him on an ankle monitor and track every fucking move he makes. Because obviously the kid's unhinged.
Was when he sent those pizzas to her door, which, mind you, the news even says this was something he had done before. He even says this is something he had
It was an accident.
Done before, sending pizzas to her door and saying they're going to pay in cash as some sort of prank, but also to keep tabs on this young girl. And even in reference to that particular incident with the pizzas, we find more facts. Now I'm going to read you the quote that he says in reference to Charlie Kirk. He says, "Hey, whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his fucking death. Stupid ass clown. Just remember that." He goes on to say she made fun of Charlie Kirk's death on TikTok on a repost. Maybe her mother should monitor her social media activity. But even when you go to read other articles about this, you'll find there are other details. He says, quote, "I think Maria's hungry. I think we're going to send her 2 pizzas. So you all know I have a vengeance against this girl for accusing me of sending porn and shit. I'm going to call a pizza to her house." He goes on to make fun of Maria's mother's name, calling it a stupid name, and accused her of reporting the porn that he had allegedly sent Maria. He says, "So Folly made a bad decision making a bad name of myself. You made a bad decision having this girl return to that school without me being there." And I don't know exactly what he's referencing with that quote about having her return to school without him being there, but it seems as though he was stalking this girl over months and months. And this is confirmed by news reports. It's confirmed by the family that says that he's been stalking her and plotting this against her for months on end. As you can see, he even references himself being accused of sending her porn. The news also reports that she had spurned his advances, meaning that he was interested in her, not just attacking her based off of political ideology. The family of Maria also knew what this guy was doing. They had reported him to law enforcement, and they had actually filed a restraining order against him due to his actions. And I'll read you a quote here actually from NJ Spotlight News that says, "The Niotis family said that Badaloro had been stalking Maria for months and that they had reported his behavior to local police with no response." It goes on further to say, in a statement to Fox 5, the family said that this was, quote, "murder in the first degree," end quote, and that, quote, "he had been plotting the attack for months, carried out this horrific attack, taking not only her life, but also Isabella's," end quote. So just for the timeline here, Charlie Kirk was assassinated about a month ago, and this kid had been stalking this girl in particular, Maria Niotis, for months. He had been planning this attack according
Yeah, he was looking for a reason. He wasn't doing this because he was a right-wing extremist. He was looking for a reason. And there was probably a million reasons, and that was just one of them that he said. And it was probably bullshit. Who knows now? Because he's definitely being arrested. Nobody can believe anything he says because he's a crazy fucking degenerate freak. And these girls are dead, and the cops didn't do anything even though they knew all of this shit was going on.
to her family for months. And Isabella Salas happened to be somebody who was just caught in between all of this because she was with Maria when this all took place.
You want to know my thoughts on how this should go down in the future? If you got a situation like this and the police aren't doing anything and you are a parent, I think you got to choose. Do you want your child to be alive or do you want your child to be dead? And you're going to have to do something about that. And you're probably going to go to prison for it. And that really sucks, man. It shouldn't be like that. But this is a fucked up world that we're living in. And the people that are supposed to protect and serve don't do shit.
But yes, go ahead and spin your narrative that this guy was a Charlie Kirk fan who killed both of these girls because one of them made a TikTok repost about Charlie Kirk's death, because that makes a lot of sense. What it really makes out is the idea that these people care far more about their narrative than the actual truth. And the actual truth here is that this is somebody who is stalking one girl in particular over months and months. This is a textbook stalker case, and instead of offering valuable education about stalking, instead of maybe calling out local law enforcement for not being on top of what was happening here, even though the family had reported it, you're deciding to spin a Republican/Trump voter violence story because you're uncomfortable with people talking about leftist violence in an age where it's happening more so than it is on the other side. When you see tweets or...
Yeah, and this apparently, it was not, from what I'm seeing, this was not a case of right-wing violence. This was a case of the police not doing anything about a stalker who was violent.
References or posts by the Occupy Democrats that are saying that this is a Charlie Kirk fan who killed somebody who made fun of him. What you're actually watching is the death of these two young girls reduced down to a narrative that is false. You are taking...
Yep, they're fucking liars, dude. This is one of the most disgusting cases of it, where they're willing to use anything as ammunition because they're fucking evil.
In the months of victimization that this young girl endured, you're taking the life of her best friend that just sort of hung in the balance of all this, and you are completely sweeping that under the rug. You're not allowing for valuable education to other young women who may be experiencing something like...
Yeah, they don't care as long as what they're saying fits their narrative.
This, you are not allowing for law enforcement to be held accountable for not doing something when it comes to this young kid harassing this young woman, and you're not allowing for others to see the signs of when this could be happening in their lives. You are disrespecting the life of a young stalking victim in Maria Niotis. You are disrespecting the life of her best friend who was caught up in this entire horrific situation. You are disrespecting her family and the actual truth behind this story and what they will continue to endure on the other end of it. You are stopping people from getting to recognize the actual signs of a stalker that may go from these sort of sending pizza altercations to taking the lives of their victims. You are muddying the waters when it comes to facts and information.
Yeah, and that both the mothers, the parents, they just are gonna have to go on, grow old without their daughter, without their daughters. That's just so fucking sad. Especially with like a couple of my friends the other night died in a car accident. Same situation where those parents are gonna grow old without their children, and that just almost got emotional. Okay.
And you are proving to the entire world that you care far more about propaganda, your own agenda, and your own narrative than you do about the actual truth. You don't care about the victim, seemingly. You don't care about justice, seemingly, because you would have looked into the story before just flippantly commenting on two people losing their lives. It seems like you care more about gaining political points over the deaths of two 17-year-old girls. And although it seems like the violence was not triggered by her comments on Charlie Kirk's death, guess what? You shouldn't send random pizzas to somebody's house over a comment they made about Charlie Kirk's death. So let's go ahead and condemn that act in case it's the only thing that you care about, and that would seem to be the case given what these people are tweeting. So there you guys go. Those are my thoughts on this particular story. I've seen it pop up on my timeline more than I can cite here, and it's really unfortunate that these two girls...
Yeah, this situation, straight up demonic. Anybody who's posting this as being right-wing violence, why is the right wing not talking about this? You're an evil monster. And, you know, go fuck yourself. So we got this situation with JD Delay that happened. They're trying to kill me. Is it because you went to the Portland protests? That's what it seems to be. I've been seeing a lot of conversation about JD Delay ever since then.
Because you are so eaten up inside by the fact that I exist and that I'm not scared of you pussies, and I'll say whatever the fuck I want to.
Yeah, these people, they're animals, and they must be treated accordingly, treated as such.
I'm succeeding at it because there's a lot more people that feel the way that I feel than that feel like you cowards feel. You can see this community growing. You can see common sense winning.
Yeah, that's why it's getting worse, because they're losing. They're being backed into a corner, and whenever you back a vicious dog into a corner, you know what they start doing? They start biting.
You can see the good against evil, and the good is prevailing. And that just festers the demons inside of you.
These people, they are demonic.
I got swatted the other day, and it was the second time that this has happened to me. And I wasn't sure that I was going to make this video. I wrestled with it a little bit because, honestly, I don't want to give these creatures the attention that they want. I know that they are out there and they are just so sucked up that they see somebody who has been through really dark shit in his life, turn his life around, make something of himself, and be so much more successful than them because they probably haven't had to face the type of adversity that I've had to face, and they're still an absolute fucking failure. They're still an embarrassment to their parents, their loved ones. They're empty inside and they know it, and that eats them alive at night. But I am doing this video, and I'm going to explain to you why. See, swatting should absolutely be an attempted murder charge. Let me explain to you what swatting is for those of you who don't know.
It should.
Swatting is where
There have been so many instances where swatting actually did lead to the death of people.
Somebody calls the police, claiming that they are either you or someone inside your home, and that they have done some really, truly grotesque, violent crime, to get the police to come out with guns blazing and kick your door in.
I've been swatted. Not by anybody online. Literally, my mom has psychosis, and she called the police force and said there were people in the yard, and they shot my uncle, and he was laying dead in the yard. So the entire police force showed up at our house, guns drawn on my brother when he saw somebody with a flashlight outside. He was like, "Who's there?" And they were like, "Freeze!" He was like, "Whoa, fuck!" And he immediately got on the ground.
Now, I'm a family man. I have kids. I have a wife. I have little-ass dogs. I live near my...
Yeah, so, like, I've never actually technically been swatted in this way, but I have been swatted, and it is scary, so I feel you, man. Especially when somebody says some crazy-ass shit like that.
Parents who are elderly. My father is a Vietnam veteran.
Oh, boy, yeah.
With PTSD from combat. I have PTSD. So doing something like this could end really unfavorably. People have absolutely been killed in swatting incidents. I think that they should be a much higher level felony, but please understand.
Yeah, and you're not expecting an entire police force waiting to kill you outside because they think that you're a murderer, a murderous crazy freak. And you walk out your door with a Wiimote in hand, and they think it's a gun, and they fire away.
That swatting is a felony in all 50 states, and it is also a federal felony if you call from one state to another to swat somebody. And I'm pressing charges.
Good.
I've been swatted more than once, and the first time, I didn't pursue charges. Let me explain to you why I'm pressing charges this time. Because whoever did it this time used a veterans unaliving hotline. You know, one of those hotlines where they're set up specifically for veterans who are struggling and they're fighting to save their own lives?
Yeah, these people are demonic, man. They will do the worst, they will say the worst, they will do anything, and they think it's funny.
Because they went and sacrificed for this country and they came back with issues, and they're literally every day just trying to stay on the planet. They called one of those, and they said that they were me, and that I had murdered my wife and my daughter and lit their bodies on fire, and that I was going to end myself. Now, both times that I've been swatted, I think you should know, just like everything else you've ever done in your life, you were an absolute fucking failure. Do you know what happens when you swat me? Because I'm not a retard like you. I get a phone call, a simple phone call from the police, and they say, "Hey JD, you okay? Is everything good?" Me, "Yeah, absolutely, of course, what do you mean?" Them, "Well, we got this call, and it's really stupid, and it's obvious that it's not real, but we have to come out anyway." Myself, I'm like, "Cool, man, come on out. We got some great Halloween candy, some energy drinks. You guys want a bottled water?" I may be a retired, reformed criminal, I know most of these cops in my local area. They chased me around this town, and now a lot of them are a part of this community, and they watch my content because they're proud of me and the progress that I've made. But also, I'm not fucking dumb like you. I knew when I blew up on the internet that it was a real possibility that somebody was going to do something awful like this. So what I did was I gave them a call preemptively. I said, hey, this is where I'm living. This is who I am. I'm assuming I'm going to piss some people off on the internet because I'm not afraid to use my constitutional rights to speak my mind and say what I believe. So I'm sure somebody's going to do this. And they said, you know what? Thank you for calling. That saves us a lot of trouble. We're going to take down your phone number, your address, who you are, and we're going to mark you down as somebody who is a SWAT risk, so that if somebody does make one of those calls, we'll give you a call first before we come out thinking it's an actual emergency, which is exactly what's happened both times. So again, you're an embarrassment, whoever did this. You should be humiliated.
Yep. And they're gonna fucking find you. And they're gonna put you in a box.
But the fact that you put veterans' lives at risk with this, you literally...
Yeah, and used a veterans hotline. Are you fucking kidding me, man?
Took up resources that are set aside to help veterans who are in a crisis and may or may not make it at a time when they are losing their lives in record numbers. Because you are so eaten up inside by the fact that I exist and that I'm not scared of you pussies and I'll say whatever the fuck I want to, and I'm succeeding at it because there's a lot more people that feel the way that I feel than that feel like you cowards feel.
Actually, I think a big problem is the fact that you are successful and you're on the wrong side. If you were just some random guy, they wouldn't care about you. The fact that you are famous and the fact that you say things that they don't like, they feel like they are justified in doing it, and they think it's funny.
You can see this community growing. You can see common sense winning.
Yeah, and they can laugh about it all they want, but they're going to be laughing at it from a box.
You can see the good against evil, and the good is prevailing. And that just festers the demons inside of you to the point where you would do something like that. You also took away from resources where those officers could be out chasing down pedophiles and murderers and abusers. And
well, in my opinion, that's what they're going to be doing now. They're going to be going after an abusive, murderous pedophile.
in my book, that makes you no better than those pedophiles, those murderers, or those abusers. You disgusting, rancid, cow-cunted piece of shit. Now, I gotta let you know, if you're one of the people that made one of these calls, it could be the same person for all I know. I don't give a fuck. So you know, there is an investigation. I am pressing charges. They are tracing calls. Every single thing that you do on one of these or on the internet is traceable. I'm getting death threats in record numbers ever since I went down to that Antifa riot in Portland.
Yep, exactly what I thought.
Multiple death threats every single day. Some of which
yeah, it's gonna get worse.
I feel might be credible. Some of which I don't know, man. After what happened with Charlie Kirk, I think it's time we all take these demented retards a little more seriously, because it turns out every once in a while, one of them is stupid and rabid enough to actually do something, and who knows, maybe one of them can actually aim for shit through all the estrogen floating through their system, the SSRIs that they're on, the gender-changing hormones that they're stuffing into their system. Who knows? But when it comes to this swatting situation where you put veterans at risk by taking up those time and resources,
what's going to end up happening pretty soon is we're going to start creating space. We've already begun creating spaces where these leftist freaks just won't be allowed, and it'll just be normal people allowed in there. Like people who aren't on these crazy people medications, who aren't on these hormonal medications, People who are just natural humans, just wanting to have a good time here on Earth. An actual good time, not degenerates.
I will see you in fucking prison.
No,
That's
you
one
won't.
thing that I
Yeah, you're not going to see them in prison because they're going to be locked in a box.
take incredibly seriously. Our government already lets down our veterans enough without the American citizens pulling fuck shit like this. They are investigating. They will find you. You think you're slick. You did literally nothing. I literally have friendly conversations with the police when they come out here because they have to take time away from what they're actually investigating that is important to deal with your baby back bitch drama.
Yep, and I got a video to show you real quick. It's just a real quick video to end this off.
It's fine. Sorry the left is so toxic. No, it doesn't bother me. Like, there's plenty of people that use that kind of stuff against me. Like, I really, I don't, this is going to sound really bad. I don't even really view them as people. I don't. I view them as like animals. And so whenever an animal gets angry at me, like a dog barks at me, do I really think to myself, am I doing something wrong? Am I a bad person when a dog is barking at me or a raccoon hisses at me? No. I just think to myself, it's a stupid fucking dog. It's a raccoon. What do you expect? And so I don't even really think about them as people. And that's really the reason that's why it doesn't bother me. I'm sorry to say. A painter used to think the same. Really.
A painter? I wonder who he's referring to.
Listen. The only difference between me and most people is that I say it. That's what I think. It's fine. Sorry the left is so toxic.
Yo,
no, it doesn't bother me. Like, there's plenty
Wild
of people
Nux
that
was
use
on
that kind
screen
of stuff against
too.
me. Like, I really,
he really knows how to get under the left
this
skin.
This is gonna sound really bad. I don't even really view them as people. I don't. I view them as like animals.
That's gotta hurt. Yep, same. I feel you there, Fables. I've got a link down there in the comments if you'd like to donate to my project here that I'm doing, Fables Playground. We got a farm going. If you want to donate to the farm, I got that link down there. You should definitely think about doing it because we need those funds. We're trying to build up a great place here. We're trying to build up a great community, and we're about to pick it up and move it to another place. We're going to the mountains, bro. This is going to be amazing. And if you want to be a part of that, you should definitely donate. I'll see you in the next one.